Hello, welcome back to my channel where I mostly post crochet videos, crochet tutorials, except in this one because I've been missing knitting for quite a while. It's been almost a year now since I knitted something, and I really want to get back into it. So I'm gonna attempt to knit something easy, just a simple t-shirt, a top-down t-shirt, and see how it goes, how much I remember, if I can still do it. So let's knit together. Okay, so as the first thing, I took my measurement, my shoulder, my chest, and my waist. The neck is more how big I want the neckline to be. It's not the measurement of my neck. The other one are my true measurement. This is the sketch of how I want my tee to look. I'm gonna work it in the round from the top down, and I'm gonna make raglan increases. Now that I have decided what I want to make, I can start making the swatch. The yarn I want to use doesn't have any instruction for the gauge, so this one that is similar, I'm gonna follow this instruction. It says 26 stitches by 36 rows, so I'm gonna follow that, then I'm gonna measure my gauge. Okay, so I'm casting on my 26 stitches. I'm using the long tail method, if I remember how to do it. No. Okay, I need to make a slip knot. Okay. Okay, yes, I remember. Okay, it's easy. I'm gonna cast on my 26 stitches. And here they are, our stitches, and I'm gonna work 36 rows. I finished my swatch. I think it came out pretty good. Now I'm gonna block it. I'm gonna use a piece of cardboard and some pins, and I'm gonna block my swatch and then steam it. I let this cool down. Now I'm gonna remove the pins and we can measure the stitches. "21 stitches, 28 rows." Okay, now that I have my gauge, I can calculate how many stitches to cast on, but the original measure of the neck is a little bit too big, so I decided to take away a few centimeters, so it's gonna be 48 instead. Okay, so for my stitches, it's gonna be 21 by 4.8, and that's 100.8. I'm gonna round it up to 100, so 100 stitches. And before casting them on, we need to divide them in the front, the back, and the two shoulders. Okay, I divide my stitches, the 32 for the front and the back, 14 for each shoulder, and then 2 in between the raglan increases. I haven't decided which color to use yet, but these are the one I have. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use them all. I want to start with the pink, or maybe I'm gonna make the ribbing on the neck and sleeves and the bottom with the pink. I was thinking pink, red, lilac, then maybe I have a bit of leftover cream color. I'm not sure, maybe these are too much. Maybe like this. I haven't decided the order yet, but I know I want to start the pink, so I'm gonna cast on my 100 stitches with the color pink, and with pink I'm going to make all the ribbing. I casted on all of my stitches, and now I'm joining them in the round like this. I made sure they were not twisted. It's a little bit difficult. Okay. And now I'm gonna work my knit one, purl one ribbing. I finished the first round. It's always the worst. And I forgot for the one ribs, you need to have an odd number of stitches, or 2 knit stitches here. Should have ended with a purl. No, I'm just gonna leave it like that. It's okay. The second row is always much easier. I have finished knitting the ribbing for my collar. I worked 5 centimeters, then I folded it over and joined the two sides together. So the next color I want to add is red. So now we're gonna switch from the ribbing to the stockinette stitch. And in this row I'm going to also place my stitch marker. I'm gonna place the first stitch marker. It's gonna mark the start of the row. So now I have to work 16 stitches for the next stitch marker. It's half of the back. The back is 32, same as the front. Sixteen stitches in place. Another stitch mark. I placed all my stitch marker. Now I want to avoid this, so I'm going to use this method to avoid creating a jog between the colors, color change. I have to lift. I don't think it's right. Let's try like this. It's not correct, but it's okay. Now I have to increase. Now I don't remember exactly how. So we're gonna need to check that out. I remember I have to lift this. I need to make one right, I think. Like this. The bar goes right. And this. I think that's correct. I'm gonna check. I think it feels right. I was correct. Make one right and to make one left. Because one bar goes on the right is a make one right, and it goes to the left is a make one left. So now I'm gonna continue with the red for a while. I don't know how many rows exactly, because I want to make them different width. So this is a make one right. Two stitches in between the stitch markers, and this is a make one left. Okay. The stockinette stitch is so much faster than the ribbing. It took me so long to make this tiny part, even longer to join them together, fold, ribbing and join two edges together. Okay, this is day 2. I have finished with the red. I think I did 10 rows, and now as you can see I'm adding the white. I don't have much of this, so I'm gonna use it carefully. I'm gonna make only tiny stripes. Okay, this is day 3 of me knitting my t-shirt, and I'm slowly but surely making some progress. I finished with the dark blue, and I've added the light blue here, and I've decided not to use the yellow and the green, so these are going back into the box, so I'm going to use it for something later. The last color I'm going to add is going to be this lilac. Not sure if I'm going to use it after light blue or if I'm going back with pink first. Maybe I'm going to do a tiny stripe like this with the lilac, and then going back with the pink. And finally, I think I did correctly. I did the jogless join correctly here. Finally, not like this one. This one is awful. This one is the worst, I think. This one looks nice. So I'm gonna continue for a while with the light blue, and then I think I'm gonna go with lilac. Okay, day 4 of my knitting, and I've finished with the light blue. I made this stripe really big. I've added the last color, the lilac, and then I went back to the pink. And now I've also reached the point where I want to put on standby my shoulder stitches. So I have a piece of scrap yarn I'm gonna use to put the stitches on standby. I'm gonna go back with the red and continue with my... I don't know if these 2 stitches should go with the shoulder or with the main body, so I'm gonna split them. I'm gonna put one with the body and one it's going with the shoulder. Now I'm going to put all these stitches. Can get rid of the stitch marker. I'm gonna have so much room now in my needles. Update in my knitting project. This is day 6 and everything was going good. Everything was going perfectly. I put sleeves on hold. I added some stitches here, 3 stitches here, and I was just going with my stockinette stitch until I discovered this mistake. And from the front it just looks a little uneven, but if you look it from the wrong side, it's just a mess. I don't know how I did this. I don't know what I did to make it this wrong. I wanna attempt to fix it. I'm gonna undo all this and pick it up with my crochet hook. And I'm scared. I hope it goes well. I was missing a stitch here. Okay. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I was missing a stitch here, and the thread got mixed up. So we fixed one. I'm gonna do the same for the next stitch. The mistake has been fixed. Now it looks much better. I couldn't leave it like that. It was right on the front of my t-shirt, and it was quite easy to fix. It was just a little bit scary to drop stitches. Now I'm just gonna continue. Okay, we are at the end of day 7, and I did quite a lot. I knitted all Sunday, and I did a big chunk, and I'm almost at the length I wanted my t-shirt to be. So I'm gonna do a little bit more because I want my ribbing to be pink, and I want to put some distance from this pink. I'm gonna do some white, a few row of, I think, lilac, and then I'm gonna finish the bottom part with the ribbing tomorrow. I think I did enough today. This is day 8, and it's probably going to be the last, because as you can see, I'm almost done. I switched from stockinette stitch to the ribbing, 1-on-1 ribbing, and I need to cast off all the bottom stitches, and then I can work on my sleeves. To cast off or bind off my stitches, I want to use this technique that uses a very long tail and knitting a sewing needle, because it gives a rounded edge. I finished binding off all of my bottom stitches, and this method took way too long. I think if I just used the usual method, I would have already finished one of the sleeve. Now it's done. I think it looks good. it's all right. And I'm ready to pick up the stitches of the sleeves and start with the sleeve. I don't think I'm going to finish this today, but I'm gonna try. Okay, I definitely didn't finish this yesterday. I had trouble with picking up stitches here. I tried a couple of times, but it just didn't look right, so I decided to just add here, and now I'm gonna close this all. I'm gonna sew this together. And another problem, this looks horrible. I tried on and it's too large. I don't know why it looks like this. In fact, here I used a smaller needle. As you can see, I used this one to do the ribbing, and to bind it off I just did the usual method, and I think it looks better. I don't know why this looks like this. So I'm gonna, after I finish the second sleeve, I'm gonna redo this. I'm gonna unravel everything here and I'm gonna redo it, because this is not it. Okay, I finished both sleeve. I closed all underneath, and I could have been done by now, but I need to unravel this and redo it. And I'm gonna do it as I did the sleeves, cuffs of the sleeve. So I'm gonna use a smaller hook, and I'm not going to repeat this type of bind off. I'm just gonna do it like this. I redid the ribbing at the bottom, and now it looks so much better than the first time. So this is a shirt done. I also cut all the tails. I'm gonna show you how it looks from the inside. Inside here, I do a knot here in the center, then I wave it. I wave the tail a little bit, then I make another knot, and I cut the yarn so it hopefully doesn't unravel. Now I'm gonna show you how it looks on me. Alright, here is the finished t-shirt. I think it came out quite nicely in the end, after some problems. The sleeves don't fit perfectly, but it's alright. I am really pleased. I think I'm gonna use it a lot this summer. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed my first knitting video, and I'll see you next time.